Hey guys, and welcome to Rough Gear Review. Today we're having a look at the Walther UZI replica. This is it right here. This is a 22 long rifle. This is manufactured by Walther in Germany. It's under license from IWI in Israel, and it is imported here in the United States from a company called Umarex. You might be familiar with Umarex. They're an airsoft company, but they're importing the 22 replicas that Walther has been putting out for a few years. They have the Colt, the HKs, and now this from IWI. And Walther does a really good job with all these replicas. They're excellent. They look great. They don't feel cheap. They're about as close to the real deal as you can get, and they're really reliable and they're really good shooters. This particular one here, like I said, is the rifle version of the Uzi. They also have a pistol version. We haven't got our hands on that yet. This is going to have a 16.1 inch barrel. It's coming in with the stock folded at 26.1 inches. And get that folded. There's 26.1. Overall length when the stock is extended is 33.3 inches, and it's weighing 7.5 pounds. So it's pretty hefty. It's a blowback operation, and it's going to come with either a 20 or 10 round magazine, depending on where you are. Also going to come with these quick release, these quick detachable slings mounts. There's a side right there, and you could also put it on the rear there if you wanted to. You can see it's got a magazine release just like on your regular Uzi. The bolt will lock back after the last round, and there's not a bolt release like that, so when you put a new magazine in, pull back, let go, it's going to charge. It's going to have a folding stock, like I just showed you, which is a nice little feature on this. And then, of course, it's going to have this fake suppressor up front because you have to have that 16-inch overall length. Another cool thing is underneath this handguard is actually a rail. So if you wanted to put a vertical foregrip on this, you could do it real easy. This is going to come right off with two Allen head screws, and then you'll see underneath here is a rail, and you could take any kind of rail. I got one here from Magpul. We'll put this little vertical foregrip on. Tighten those two screws down. And there you go. So now you have a little vertical foregrip on this. Kind of cool. Otherwise, the gun comes apart real easy. This fake shroud, just covering that small 22 barrel. There's a single pin. It's going to remove your lower. Just pop that out. Lower's going to come right off. You have access to your trigger group there. On the top, there's a little lever in the back. Push back. Top cover is going to come off. And then you can access the bolt, recoil spring, everything you need to clean it up. So one great thing is that if you're in a restrictive state, and say you're in the state of California where our gun laws are pretty confusing, and rightly so because they don't make any sense. And things that don't make sense confuse people, and that's how our gun laws are written. They don't make any sense at all. But one great thing is in California, when they write all of our laws, they never seem to look at 22s. And that's great. At least they leave us something that we can have some fun with. We don't need to pin the stocks. We don't need bullet buttons on any of these. These are good to go. And as a matter of fact, the overall length on these falls under federal guidelines, not California's. If you have a quote-unquote assault rifle in California, or a rifle that requires a bullet button, it has to have an overall length of 30 inches. Federal is 26, and this rifle is going to come in at 26.1 inches when the stock's folded. Comes in at 33.3 inches overall when it's extended. But it's great. You can have a vertical foregrip on this. You don't need a bullet button. It's awesome. And apparently, my guess is that maybe they're just not scary to our politicians. Apparently our politicians ban everything based on looks. If it looks scary, then it is scary, and they ban it. But, you know, for this, they don't, and thank God. At least we have something fun here. And that's probably one of the reasons that, you know, I have a whole bunch of these 22 replicas. They're fun. You know, I don't need a bullet button. I can, you know, go out and shoot all day long. It's cheap to shoot, which is nice. But it's also nice to not have to deal with some of those features. And, you know, a great thing is in the past couple of years, a lot of really cool replica 22s have come out. And the great thing I've noticed with these Walthers is that they feed a lot of that cheap bulk ammo. And that really is the key to going out shooting a 22. You want to shoot all the cheap stuff. And so far, even though Walthers, you know, makes guns and they're under some other brand names, what I found is that almost everything that's made by Walther has worked really great so far for us. We've tried a couple other 22s out from some other companies. Some of them work great too. Some haven't worked so great. But as far as this goes on the Walthers, they've been great. This Uzi is a lot of fun. It's fun to go out and shoot. And it feeds everything we put through it. Haven't had any failure feeds or any jams. So definitely worth a $500 price tag. But they're fun guns. And again, like I said, especially if you're in a state like California, at least you get to have something that you can go out and have fun with. So that was our look at the Walther IWI Uzi, the replica in 22 long rifle. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, please leave them below. I'll answer anything I can. And thanks a lot for watching Rough Gear Review, guys.